In my experience, and in reading through different industry trends, I've noticed there's some common regrets that people have after retiring. With these regrets comes a dissatisfaction and really a desire to go back and do it all over again. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 things you'll wish you knew before retiring so that you can create the retirement of your dreams. Hey everyone, I'm James Canole, founder of Root Financial Partners, and I'm here to teach you what you need to know to create a secure retirement. So often when it comes to retirement planning, it's all about the financial side. How much do I have in my 401k? When do I collect Social Security? What Medicare option is best for me? How much can I safely pull out of my portfolio? And we focus on that and we look at that and we do everything we need to do. The analysis is done and we think we're prepared. And then we get to retirement and find that the financial side is only one component of a successful retirement. It's a necessary component, but it's only one. What we fail to do is look at the other side of not just looking at, am I financially prepared, but looking at, am I emotionally prepared? Do I know what I'm retiring into? What is going to be before me as I retire? And those tend to be the biggest regrets people have about retiring. So in today's video, we're going to look at 5 things you'll wish you knew so that you can get ahead of this and so you can start to understand what those regrets are so you can get ahead of it and make sure that you are retiring into the retirement of your dreams. Now, regret number 1, a lot of people will share they wish they traveled more while they could. So there's this dream we have of a retirement. And when I retire, it's trips to Europe and we're going to Hawaii and we're bringing the family with us and there's all these amazing things. And we sacrifice and we earn and we save and we defer. And by the time we get to retirement, a lot of our energy, a lot of our health, a lot of those years where we could have been traveling has passed us by. So what a lot of people wish they had done instead is could they have taken some of those trips while still working? In fact, could they have slowed down on the 401k contributions maybe? Could they have not saved quite as much and used those years where they had their health, they had their energy, they had the desire to go do these things, as opposed to deferring everything until some arbitrary date in the future when they would start doing those things? So practice what you want to do. Start living into retirement today before waiting till some date in the future so that you can make sure that when you have the best of your health and energy and the financial resources to do so, you're able to take some trips and do some amazing things with your spouse, with your family, with whoever you want to do it with. Because the reality is typically those last few years before retirement, those might be your peak earning years. And if you're not using your peak earning years to do some of these amazing things and you're just saving it all, you're going to feel a bit more restricted in retirement and you might not have the same energy to do what you could have done while still working. Regret number 2 is people wish they had something to retire to. Again, we paint this idealistic future of retirement as this amazing thing, and it can be an amazing thing. But if you don't have a plan for what that looks like, and you just retire all of a sudden, you might be upset or you might be feeling like what's there to do? Work was what you did. Work was your routine. You just went through life. You went through the motions of saving and investing and preparing. Once that's done, what's left? So making sure you have a plan of what you're retiring to. And this is a great exercise for anyone to do. In retirement or not, what is it that's going to excite you most? There's probably only so much golf you can play. There's probably only so much other things that you can do before you start to get bored of it. So is it time with family? Is it volunteering? Is it buying an RV and traveling the country? Understand what an ideal retirement would look like for you, even if that still contains a little bit of work. Work for a lot of people brings a sense of enjoyment, a sense of productivity, a sense of meaning. Understand what those things are and make sure that you have a plan of what you're retiring into. If you don't, you might be disappointed when you get to retirement, have all the money to do what you want to do, but you just don't know what it is that you want to do. And you end up being bored or you end up being dissatisfied with the result. Number 3, another regret is people wish they had more friends. Going back to that work thing, when you are working, you have a sense of community. Even if you don't like all of your coworkers, they're still there, you're interacting with them, and people underestimate the importance of that social connection. So having bosses, having people you report to, having coworkers, all of that we take for granted too often. And when people get into retirement, most of the people they've been seeing on a daily basis, or at least a weekly basis over the past several years, that's just cut off. And if they haven't done the work to invest in relationships, invest in friendships outside of work, well, when work is gone, there's no more friendships left. And so making sure that you are putting the work in. And this could be relationships with people at work. Just make sure that you're having a relationship outside of the office as well, or making sure that you're having an interaction outside the office as well, because people when they retire have all the time in the world, and if they can't spend it with the people they care about, they're just not going to enjoy retirement as much. Now, regret number 4, and this is a big one, is a lot of people will say, I wish I hadn't bought that house. So often when we're working, there's always a bigger goal. There's the next thing that we want to do. And for a lot of people, that's a great big house. And now a great big house can be an amazing thing, especially if you have a growing family or you want somewhere where people can come together. But for a lot of people when they retire, they want to minimize responsibilities that they don't enjoy having to take care of. And for a lot of people, they don't enjoy having to take care of great big houses when they retire. Some of the most successful retirements I've seen are people who rent little condos or have little places that don't tie them down. They don't require a lot of their financial resources. It doesn't require a lot of their time. It frees them up to go do other things. When you don't have as much of your net worth stored in one big house, there's a lot more liquidity. There's a lot more assets that you have that you can use to pursue other things. And not just financial assets, but time assets. What would you do if you didn't have to care so much for the home or tend to the yard or repair that roof or do all the things that comes with maintaining a large home? A lot of people would prefer to keep things simple. They would prefer to keep things light in terms of the responsibility, which frees them up to do what they want to do. Pursue those friendships, spend time with family, spend time volunteering, spend time traveling, spend the time that you want to spend doing fun things as opposed to maintaining this big, giant, beautiful home that maybe is holding you back from other aspects of retirement. And then finally, regret number 5, people wish they spoke with their spouse, their partner about retirement. Most people, retirement is a goal. And for most people, and it's an exciting goal. And as we talk about retirement, my spouse and I, we might be excited. Now it's far away for us, but for a lot of people, they're excited about it. And they assume that that excitement is shared by their partner, which it is, but maybe there's an excitement about different things. Maybe one spouse was so excited to retire and spend 6 months a year traveling, while the other spouse wanted to be near family and actually wanted to move to a different part of the country to be around the grandchildren. Or maybe one spouse thought volunteering was so important, and when they retired, they were going to do it together. So the other spouse just wants to go out and play golf. So whatever it is, retirement is probably exciting to both spouses, but if you're not on the same page, and this doesn't mean you have to agree upon everything, but if you can understand where the other spouse is coming from, if you can understand what excites them and what's getting them excited for retirement, well, then you can come up with a plan for how can you do all the things that excite both you and your spouse, so when you go into retirement, there's not disagreements about how you're going to spend your time or what you're going to be doing with that all. So understanding those expectations is a very important part as you create that transition into retirement. So as we're looking at this, yes, of course, financial concerns are important. There's a lot of financial regrets about retirement too. But assuming you're doing the right thing financially, a lot of the regrets are on a completely non-financial side. It's looking at things like, I wish we had traveled more, not just traveled more, but did more while we could, while we were still working and had our health and had our finances and had the energy to do it. It's wishing that they had something to retire to. So what's our financial plan for retirement, but what's also just our lifestyle plan? What are we retiring into? People wish they had more friends. So where's my community going to come from if work is gone? What are the things I can do to be creating that community so they have that to retire into? Wishing they hadn't bought that large house, and really this goes for any big purchase. It could be a boat, it could be a house, it could be any large purchase that requires a lot of your financial resources and time and energy. And then number 5, wishing they had spoke with their partner more about retirement, being on the same page, understanding where each other were coming from so they can make sure to create a dream retirement for the both of them. Thanks for watching. This is James Canal with Root Financial Partners. If you found this video beneficial, please be sure to share it with someone else who you think could benefit from this information. If you want more resources about how you can create a secure retirement, be sure to check out our podcast, Ready for Retirement, where we release weekly episodes dedicated to helping you build that dream retirement. And if you haven't already done so, please be sure to like this video, leave a comment if you have any thoughts, and subscribe for more content just like this in the future. And finally, if you're interested in how we help people build their secure retirement, please be sure to visit our website at rootfinancialpartners.com.